future in the past using was or were going to and would. We use the future in the past to express intentions and plans that have changed. I'm going to teach Latin American history. This was my plan for the future. Today, I say, I was going to teach Latin American history. Notice that am changes to was. We often use was or were going to for intentions or plans that changed. For example, I was going to teach Latin American history, but I didn't. I taught English instead. We can make yes-no questions with was or were going to. For example, were you going to teach Latin American history? Or, weren't you going to teach Latin American history? We can also make information questions with was or were going to. For example, what were you going to teach? Or, who was going to teach Latin American history? 5 years ago, I said, I think I'll be a professor in a Latin American studies program at a university. Today, I say, I thought I would be a professor in a Latin American studies program at a university. Would is the past form of will. We also use it to discuss past intentions and plans that have changed. It's used in a noun clause after verbs like thought, believed, and said. We can also use was or were going to in a noun clause after thought, believed, or said. I thought I was going to be a professor in a Latin American studies program at a university. Perfect modals should have, could have, would have. We use these modals to express regrets, ability, and certainty. These sentences use perfect modals. We use should have and a past participle to talk about past regrets or judgments. For example, I can say, I shouldn't have gone to the party, but unfortunately I did. Or, I should have stayed home and rested, but unfortunately I didn't. Notice that for negative sentences, the word not goes between the modal like should and have. We often use this structure when we criticize someone. For example, in these sentences, I am criticizing myself for a bad decision. We use could have and a past participle to talk about past ability. For example, when I say, I could have said no thanks, but I said, yes, I'd love to come. We can also use this structure to criticize someone. For example, you could have called me. We use would have and a past participle to talk about past certainty. For example, I wouldn't have gotten worse, I would have gotten better. Perfect modals may have, might have, could have, and must have. We use these modals to express possibility and conclusions. We can use the perfect modals may have, might have, or could have with a past participle to express possibility about the past. For example, we can say, they may have left because of a natural disaster. They might have left because of a natural disaster. Or, they could have left because of a natural disaster. This is a possibility, but we're not sure. We can also use a negative form of the perfect modals may have or might have to express possibility about the past. For example, we can say, they may not have had time to prepare, or they might not have had time to prepare. This is possible, but we're not sure. We can use the perfect modal must have or must not have to talk about conclusions. For example, in the sentences, they must have been expert architects, and They must not have expected the disaster. These are conclusions. We can also use the perfect modal could not have to talk about conclusions that are almost certain to be true. For example, the Aztecs couldn't have built it. For questions about past possibility, we use could have. For example, could the people of Teotihuacan have disappeared all at one time?